guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be doing a back to school episode. So this is probably going to be episode 3, I think, or episode 4. So in today's video we're going to be seeing on how to take aesthetic notes and stuff like that. So some tips and tricks that I'm just doing. So back to school is, like in the name itself, it is where I just give some tips and how you're gonna prepare yourself going back to school. I started this in September and I really want to just carry it forward even though it's not the back to school season. But yeah, we're just gonna, just move on, and we're just gonna post another video there, here and there, so that will actually help, so that you can actually improve it in the middle of the term or just after the term. So then it will just carry on like that. So that's basically the thing about back to school. So yeah, so we have got loads of things to do now. So we're gonna go to the first things, and that is our things we need for making aesthetic notes, like brush pens, a pen, a ruler, and of course we need a notebook. So you can have colorful pens or highlighters, but I like to use brush pens because you can use them as a highlighter and also you can use them as a brush pen. And some of them have markers on the other side if they're double-sided, and as a pen, so that comes in a 3-in-1. So these are some of my notes, and as you can see, they're simple, but then yet you can have all the notes and they do look aesthetic. Of course there are more ways to make it more aesthetic, but this is kind of minimum aesthetic. So sometimes I go too overboard with it, and sometimes I just go okay, just the title's gonna be fancy, I'm just gonna highlight it. So now we've got everything, and then we're also going to look at the types of colors and the color scheme that we need to do, what colors go well with each other, or the type of system that I actually use. So this brush pens I've actually kind of showed you guys before about art supplies videos. So if you guys want this, I have the link down below in the description box. I got this for Amazon. This is a 36-piece set, and it's been over a year and it still works perfectly fine. So now these are the types of brush pens that I like to use. I like to use this kind of bluey shade. It's turquoise, and then I have a darker shade which is actually brown. So this is the types of shades that I like to use. I also like to use this light gray that we have over here. So we have a solid color, so for example it's like this, and then we also have a gray color. So it's a solid color with the gray color, make sure it's light gray, or you can have a solid color and then a darker shade of that solid color. So over here you have turquoise, then I took a light blue because it's actually more darker, or you can take a light blue and then a dark blue, so something like that. And I thought that it actually works very well. So here is an example of it. So as you can see, I've got this light blue. It's because of the light it actually seems a bit different, but it's actually light blue. And then you've got a gray. So this is just for shadow work, so you have to use the darker shade of color or the gray as a shadow, and the solid color is your main solid color. And then this is the other version, so it's actually depending on what you have to do. So the night before, it only takes about 10 minutes maximum. You can just decide which color that you would like to have for this day or whichever subjects, or if you want to start a new theme, this is what you can do. So just the night before you can just do it. So second step is to actually practice your lettering. So I'm just gonna do it. I think I might have spelled lettering wrong. I was in a rush that day, so I didn't really focus on how I was gonna spell it. So I'm gonna take my gray here, and I'm just going to write in. So we got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. So we have all of the letters, and I'm actually proud of myself because sometimes when I take videos, it actually just go in plan and it just turns out all floppy and all, but then this time it actually turned out well. So now we're going to do the uppercase. So there isn't much fancy stuff that you can do with uppercase, but I like to do my fancy stuff in the letter A's and sometimes B's, but then the rest all is just block lettering, because you can kind of make it more fancy, but then you have to make sure that you have enough time to write your titles. You can write it in pencil at first, and then once you go home you can spend about 20 minutes each day going all over over your titles and nice brush lettering after you come home from school. But then you have time, and in lessons times, then I can actually do like fancy lettering. Sometimes I do, sometimes I just write in normal pen and then I just highlight it with the color that I have. So this is it. So I've got my lowercase in, I've got my lowercase in gray and my uppercase in blue. So now some things that you have to consider while writing, while writing calligraphy or lettering is the spacing, the amount of space that you do. So over here I've got my H and my A, it's too far apart, but my APPY is actually very close. So you've got to decide how you're going to space it. Is it going to be like one finger space, or is it going to be very close, or is it going to be very far? It depends on how much space that you have. So you have to make sure that you have like the good spacing and how you're going to join the letters. So as you can see, my P and my the double P's are not actually like matched together. My P and Y are also not matched together. The A and P can also kind of match. So the H and A, out of all of these 5 letters, are only like matched. So you also got to practice that. And you can only make everything like of all of this will come only if you practice. So practice makes perfect is some like a quote that actually pushes you forward. So always remember, practice makes perfect. So I've practiced this many times and now only look like this. So I know I can definitely improve, but then this is the best I can do for now. And then now we are going to go on to our second step. So what are we going to do now? So we're going on to our second step. I'm kind of lagging because this is getting like very, very far. But then now we're going to actually go on to how you're supposed to take care of your brush pen nib. So your nib is basically like the brush pen where you write. So I usually, when I first got this, I used this for like coloring because I saw this all over the internet and YouTube. I saw that and I decided that I was going to do that. So if I hadn't done that, the brush pens would have been so delicate, they would have worked so well. But since I use it for coloring now, like the brush pens are kind of ruined, but I don't blame myself. I was like, what, 9, 10? So I don't blame myself or anything, but I certainly wish I hadn't done that so that the pens would have actually been delicate. So if you're buying brush pens, just use them for letterings, or if you're just buying them for coloring, just use them for coloring. That's like my biggest tip. So as you can see, my green, it just bends, so I can't actually use my green for lettering anymore because it just doesn't work properly for the upstroke and the downstrokes. So you gotta really like make sure that you got it. So over here you can see the difference between them. So like, see, you can clearly see the difference between them. I don't know if it's just me or it's just the camera that doesn't show the difference between them, but there is actually a huge difference between them. You can see them in real life. Sometimes the color just fades away the top of the nib. That just shows that there isn't enough color, or your nib is kind of like not the right color. So we have got here the color scheme. So I just love to have a color scheme. So I already talked about the color scheme, but that's just the thing that I use, and that was just an example. So I love to have a color scheme for every subject, or every just every, what do I say, every subject, or every day I have like a different color. So I have to blur these out because it risks the use of my personal life or my school life, but you can definitely see the amount of like brush pens that I use and the color schemes that I use. So I might reduce the intensity, but then I do not want to like fully blur it out. But as you can see, I've got a lot of yellow over here. But then this is just my science book, and then it's just like a normal thing. So over here, see, it's like I have like a different color every day, or sometimes I just change it up because I didn't like the other color that I used. So over here we have got this is one of my my best coloring, not like my best lettering pages. So over here, as you can see, it worked very, very well. And yeah, so you basically have to have like a color scheme for every subject, or like every day that you change it. So there's 5 days of the week, so there's 5 colors every single day. That maybe helps, but I like to have like a what do I say, a color scheme for every subject, so that it actually makes it more easier. You can definitely change it up. As you can see, I have like different colors every like pages. So yeah, so it's actually up to you. So these are like my top 3 tips for you guys to have like aesthetic notes, and how it is actually like how I take aesthetic notes, kind of, or what is like my process in taking. So make sure you guys practice it, and make sure you guys kind of follow this, so that it will actually help you. And if you guys having like nice picture representations, this is probably what will actually be for you. So please do subscribe to my channel, give this video a big thumbs up, click the notification bell button so that you will get notified whenever I post a new video. Share my channel and my videos, comment down below if you'd like to see any other new videos, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.